Hello, this is Skip Shuda with CheapRevolution.com, and I'm here to talk about the value judgment analysis. This is a tool that I talk about on the CheapRevolution.com blog. There's a blog post called Decision Making and Evaluating Alternatives Using the Value Judgment Analysis. Tap your intuition and your logical side. So I wanted to give just a quick overview of how this tool might work. I first learned about this tool years ago, back in high school, in my social studies class. And the social studies teachers at good old Neshaminy Maple Point High School, it doesn't exist anymore, but in those days they were very thought-provoking and leading edge in some of their teaching techniques. And they taught all the students how to use this simple decision-making technique. And I used it in my senior year when I was trying to figure out where I wanted to attend college. So I'm going to actually simulate some of the decision process that I went through when I was trying to choose a college. My daughter is currently looking at colleges, so I thought it would be a good opportunity to share this tool with that as a kind of a common decision-making process that a lot of people go through and really struggle with. And I think this tool, the benefits of this tool really came out for me, really materialized when I tried to decide which college I wanted to attend. In the blog post, I talk about how this tool taps into both our logical and our intuitive side of our brain. So on the logical side, it uses a ranking system. You can weight your criteria, and you can then rate your different options and come up with a number at the bottom. But on the intuitive side, you're also constantly sitting with this question of what's really important to you. What are the things that really matter? So let's go through this exercise and see how that might work. So I have two options here, the University of Delaware and the United States Naval Academy. These were two of several options that I was looking at when I was in high school and thinking about attending college. So some of the criterion that I may have listed at that time were distance from home, and I gave that a rating of 3 on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being most important. Financial aid, well, if I was getting some financial aid packages, and these were two options that I was offered financial aid for, so I gave that a 5 because that was very important to me at the time. What are the career options? Coming out of this school, what kind of options might I anticipate in terms of careers? And I ranked that as a 4. And then for me, as a single young man in those days, male to female ratio was important as well, so I added that into the mix. So let's say that I went through and I said, okay, well, University of Delaware is just the right distance from home. It's not too close, not too far, so I'm going to give that a 10. And the financial aid, had an offer of a scholarship, which was really quite good, so I was happy to have that. I gave that an 8 though, because I knew that I'd be comparing to the Naval Academy, where not only do you get a scholarship, but they also pay you to attend the military academy. Career options in terms of following up after the University of Delaware, really good school, lots of great career options. I gave that an 8. And the male to female student ratio was about even. It was a large student body, so I felt pretty good about that. But of course, it wasn't the ratio that I would prefer, which might be 75% female, 25% male at that time. So then I went through the Naval Academy and I said, okay, well, let's see, distance from home, it's a little farther, but not too bad, so I give that an 8. Financial aid, again, full, all your tuition, room, and board is paid, and they also pay a stipend, so that's a 10. What are my career options afterwards? One of the most impressive things about attending the Naval Academy or one of the military academies is that once you get out of the service, really the world is your oyster in terms of choosing careers. That became very apparent in sort of looking at where people went after they got out of the military, so I had to give that a 10. And the male to female ratio, at the time that I attended or was thinking about attending the Naval Academy, there were very few female cadets, so I had to give that a 2. There were a few, so I didn't give it a 1, which would have been my lowest ranking. So then what happened was I tallied these up, and really all I'm doing here is multiplying the, the criteria weight by the ranking for that option, and I come up with a total. So 2 times 7 is 14, or in this case 2 times 2 is 4. And then we tally those up at the bottom. And this is what actually happened. I actually ended up with a score that indicated I should be attending the U.S. Naval Academy. And I remember getting that logical number and this big pit forming in my stomach. And I'm thinking, why is it that this is bothering me so much? When I really started to think about it, there are a couple of things that were important to me that really weren't being recognized here. First of all, I really felt that the male to student, the male to female ratio was more important than I indicated. The other thing that I really wasn't looking at, which was important to me, was social life. And that was actually a pretty important criteria, so I added that to the mix. And the University of Delaware had an excellent social life, and not as much at the Naval Academy. So that became a factor as well. So once I added in a couple of these factors and I adjusted some of the criteria, you can see that I ended up with a very different ranking for the University of Delaware versus the Naval Academy. And thank goodness I chose this, because this is where I went to school and I met my wife, and after 29 years of marriage, I can say that it was a wonderful choice, and the VJA helped me get to that decision. And I'm hoping that this will help you in making your decisions, whether you're evaluating alternatives for business locations, looking at different career choices, or evaluating which school you want to attend next. Try the VJA out and see if that doesn't help you make a decision. Thanks for listening, and good luck with all your decision making in the future.